Here's the plan. Let's get out of here! I am Noxiddar!
Hey everyone, how's it going? Noxiddar here, and welcome to our next reaction in Delicious in Dungeon. I am so excited to get back to reacting and getting back to this series. We gotta shake off the rust. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm looking forward to it. And if you saw my video yesterday, it's kind of an update on everything that had been happening, if you were kind of wondering where I'd been. And I think it's good news, and you know, I'm just as ambitious as ever, but that's not why we're here for this video. Let's go ahead and get right to our reaction.
I slept too long! I don't hear anything. There's no heartbeat.
It's 'cause you're listening through his armor.
That makes sense.
Looks like he finally managed to fall asleep.
Suppose that means his food poisoning settled down.
That's right. I forgot that he had given himself food poisoning at the end of our last episode. That's really cool that there's a little bit of continuity going from one episode to the other, at least in this one. I'm glad we're starting off with that.
Oh, Laios, what a troublemaker.
Let's let
True.
him sleep a bit longer. He was tossing and turning all through the night.
I wonder about this dungeon. Does it already know how many monsters need to be defeated on each floor? Killing monsters in here just stabilizes the ecosystem. But if we don't do it, the village will get completely overrun by them. And when the village does get overwhelmed, it recruits adventurers to help. Pretty clever system.
What are you talking about?
About how dungeons are made, isn't it obvious? It was a while ago, but I studied it back when I was in school.
Isn't that Marcille? You know, from the graduate course? She was the school's very first genius. I heard she was the teacher's assistant the first day.
Actually, I wasn't assisting the teacher until the 5th day of school.
Humble brag. I actually really enjoy the fact that we're getting this glimpse at what these characters were up to, you know, because from really the onset, we've seen them as an established party, and I've only really heard so far mentioned by Marcille, like a book she used in school and things like that. So to actually get a glimpse and see her there, that's pretty special. That's really cool. This is definitely really exciting. Just seeing all of my friends again, even if one is still going through a bad bout of food poisoning and is out of action.
Look at Marcille's barrier. It's so enchanting. Hey, can I see too? Make some room for me.
Careful! Are you hurt?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
There are some impurities mixed in the soil. In that state, the spirits inside won't live long.
You didn't get dirt on your clothes, did you? That girl, she's always covered in dirt.
If a good number of them survived, the fire will be large.
Looks like your spirits are being maintained nicely.
I was waiting for it.
What's happening to my jar?
That's quite a lot of spirits there.
I know a place pretty close by that has a lot of spirits. I got it from a real dungeon.
So are you always doing stuff like this?
Yep.
That's why people think she's weird.
I grew up with no other kids my age around, surrounded by the forests of Washington. My love of fantasy and knights and wizards and magic and all of those things came from reading C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien, falling in love with the idea of adventure. I can kind of relate, you know, on the wanting to kind of isolate yourself from everyone. Now, granted, I just said I didn't have a choice, but I also kind of yearn for that. I remember even when I lived in Japan, I was surrounded by people, but I always tried to make time to be by myself and reflect on where I was and what was going on around me. And so sometimes I would go visit like small Shinto shrines that were in the forest where I could just kind of get away from the noise and complexity of social engagements and just kind of detach and yet connect with the greater world around me. So I get it. I'm waiting for her to open her eyes. I'm not sure why her eyes are shut. She looks tired all the time.
So it really is a dungeon. This is amazing. The mana here is stagnant and the air is stale. Seems like it's a natural cave.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Seeing Marcille here inside of an area enclosed with lots of like just spirits surrounding her, and especially with this soft ethereal kind of music playing, just it really gives me like Legend of Zelda vibes.
If we tilled this dirt and planted some mandrakes, I think we could safely utilize the dungeon's mana.
Oh crap! This is bad! It won't come into the sunlight. You don't have to worry, I promise. Slimes are actually able to break down bat droppings and then turn them into mana.
I wonder what kinds of things the bats up there eat. And what season do these raspberries grow in? I can't make a dungeon without knowing things like that. I still have so much left to learn.
Yeah, the harp is definitely giving me those Legend of Zelda vibes right there too. But oh my gosh, it's so magical. I am constantly amazed at this show. I never know what to expect now, going from episode to episode, but the strong ties to environmentalism and the message like rings through so clearly, but in a way that doesn't feel heavy-handed like we might see in more like Western style media where they really just try to beat you over the head with a message in not so subtle ways. And what I really love about this is that it's not just any one thing. We're given to Marcille's character and her natural born curiosity for the world around her, the ability to stop and be curious about the world. And it's a lesson that I learned, and it took me a long time to get there because I had to drop all the baggage that I carried, all the thoughts that I had about myself, and I really just had to leave everything on the ground and finally pick my head up and look at the world around me to realize like there's a lot of just natural beauty in the world. There's a lot of things that make me wonder, particularly when I look up at the stars at night. And so the instant connection that I have with a character who's curious about their world around them and wanting to learn more makes me want to learn more. And so I definitely encourage people, while I'm not saying that you have to go out and be these like climate activists or anything like that, but start local and look at the world around you and appreciate things. I set myself on this journey out of a place of pain and loss, but also out of like the hope for better things to come. And I honestly think that how you walk that path is how you arrive at the end of it too. And so I really have tried to put a concerted effort in these reactions and also just how I carry myself from day to day in a place of appreciation, in a place of gratitude, not dwelling on things that have set me back, but looking forward to the things that can carry me forward. And so while I know I've been away, I've also in some ways kind of set those things down too, and I realized the hole that is left in my life. I'm kind of yammering, but basically what I really want to just get at is like the sense of character and just how much I appreciate we're taking the time to dwell on this, right? It's not about just moving through the dungeon, killing the monster, and then eating it. It really does grasp on these deeper meanings, these philosophies of what does it mean to serve a purpose, to be part of a community, to, you know, exist to support that community and or ecosystem, if you like. I don't know. It really this show really just gets my mind going. And so I'm always pent up with this anxiety. Like I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. What if I don't react to anything? And then as soon as an episode like this starts, I'm just like, okay, I'm in. I know exactly what I want to say. I just don't know the words to say them, apparently.
The part about you being the school's first genius has to be a lie, right?
Why would you think it's a lie? I'll have you know that I was an honor student.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Don't be hating.
this whole dungeon's pretty unbelievable.
So Falin was talking about you. When she enrolled into magic school, she would send me update letters. One day, she wrote about how she made a new friend. And she sounded a lot happier. She always praised you, Marcille. She thought you were awesome.
Falin praised you too, Laios. She really looked up to you. What's so great about him?
He's got the best dog impression I've ever heard.
That settles it.
Let's get our butts in gear and go save Falin.
The orcs we talked to mentioned the red dragon had appeared right here.
Oh, we're getting closer. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
But that's where it came from.
Weapons won't work. We need fire. Hey, Marcille, hold out a bit longer.
Easy for you to say.
So this might be because I've been playing so much Elden Ring lately, but I absolutely see Marcille stuck in a boss arena right now doing, you know, dodging for iframes and things like that. I know I've talked about this before, but just like the vibrancy, this shot, oh my gosh, beautiful. That might be part of the thumbnail. We're in these like dark, dank dungeons, and yet there is so much life and color and vibrancy. My jaw hits the ground, and this is like a big, huge hats off to the animators and the people that are, you know, like realizing and pulling this from the pages of the manga to adapt it into this medium. It's just like how how like delicious, for lack of a better word, this like color is, and I'm just constantly in awe when I see it. It's so well done.
Where is it? There must be some kind of clue. It has my blood.
Ah.
It's so fast.
Just hold on!
Ooh, good catch.
All right, here's the plan.
Let's get out of here!
Lyos always has a plan, so yeah. Okay, that one got me.
Are you holding up, Marcille?
I stopped the bleeding, but I'm low on blood and mana.
I really should have paid more attention when Falin was teaching me healing magic.
What are we gonna do now? There's no way we can take a monolith magic user further into the dungeon.
Yeah, I think the only thing we have is kelpie meat. Did you happen to grab its liver too, Senshi?
Of course I did. Livers are too rich in iron to leave behind.
That means...
It's grilling time!
Let's go. Man, that looks so good, doesn't it? Look at those colors. They're so complimentary. Oh my gosh. How strange is it, and just how wonderful of a job does Ryokokui do, that we just had kind of like a boss battle in an arena, and yet I am more hyped for the food prep and the process of cooking and then eating and diving in. Like, maybe it's the music and or just like the complete totality of music, animation, color grading. I don't know what it is, but it's magic. And so I'm getting like a little chuckle here as I'm watching this, because I'm like, I'm more excited about this than what I just watched, and you know, when they were in like dire straits. So and yeah, that just speaks to like the insane ingenuity and creativity that just is poured so lovingly into this story and this show, that yeah, even things that like you would never really be all that excited about in any other story happens to be the thing that just pulls you in. It's so good. Man, I love this show. I love it so much.
Well, it looks like she's starting to recover.
Liver's amazing.
Ah, good news.
That aside, what do we do about her low mana? Why'd you stuff the basilisk with mana herbs?
I still stand by my choice.
Jeez, you gotta be kidding me. What kind of moron would be grilling meat in here?
We're gonna have a party reunion? Is that what that is? Yeah, so I spoke at length about why I was so excited about the food, you know, prep and the food creation stuff. This show just, it hits on such a different level than even like a One Piece, or maybe something like, you know, like a Dragon Ball Z, although food is like a big deal in really all of those. But the way it brings everything together, right? Like, you think of the parts of the show as the ingredients, and it all culminates into that the big cook, the big meal. And That's what I look forward to. I look forward to seeing how elements of story become like synonymous with the ingredients that gets put into the process of the food prep. It's just so magical. I can't really conjure any other words right now. Of course, if you saw the intro, couldn't really conjure any other words there either. But my friends, what an episode. So good. It's terrible. I really hope that Marcille can recover from this. But at the same time, it's so good seeing all these guys together again. Oh, I've really been looking forward to this, and I'm glad we're here. And I'm glad you're here with me. And I'll see you in the next one. That's all for today. This is Noxiddar. Out. We'll see ya.